Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, get a cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milkshake wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever every time you go to Floyds, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
And we got quite a spread in front of us on this episode. We got the next Deep Woods release. It doesn't come out till like the 19th of November.
Yeah, man.
It's like the 11th, right?
So there's preview parties on the 18th, and then there's the launch party on the 19th. And this is for the next three. The Revolution loves you, Brad. They spread this thing out from, basically October till what feels like February or March-ish.
Right.
Then they take a couple months off, come back in the summer with summertime release.
Yeah, not too bad.
It's almost like baseball, baseball runs for like February. Spring training's in February, World Series is November. It's kind of like that almost.
Okay.
So.
But this is the Barley Wine release, right?
Barley Wine November, so Straight Jacket, the OG, Blackberry Finn, and then Vanilla Deeth.
Okay. And Straight Jacket is the only returning veteran here, right?
Yeah, and we should have talked about this on the call, but it feels like they go out of their way to make sure that there's always a Straight Jacket, always a Death Star, right? Okay. And then everything else kind of rotates around those two, right? And maybe Rye too at this point. So,
right.
And then everything else.
So the Rye ones are the next ones then, right?
I don't know.
Probably.
It's all coming. It's honestly hard to keep up with. Remember we did that reel where we had them all on the table?
Yeah.
And it was just like, they make you work to remember every single release.
Yeah, I don't know how the people who work there remember them because they have all the variants then too on top of that, and we don't even go there and try all those.
Yeah. So we're already 6 in for this year's Deep Woods. The 21-22 Deep Woods series is already 6 beers in.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite so far out of these 3?
That's a good question, man. It's alternating between. So I've only hit the Straight Jacket twice. The other 2 I've only went through once. The way that Vanilla Deeth finishes for me is really making me happy. Because, sure, there's some floral vanilla notes on it, on the flavor. And then, but when I'm done sipping it, like that minute to 2 minutes afterwards, I get like a nice little vanilla reverb that I really like, where it just kind of lingers.
Does it compare? Oh, it's a barley wine, so it's can't really compare it to Goose Island, Bourbon County vanilla, right?
The last Bourbon County vanilla was in rye barrels too.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. The OG vanilla, I think, you probably could. And we joke all the time because it was the Goose guys that talked about, we bought $1 million worth of vanilla. We couldn't insure the truck when we shipped it over. And there was a storm in Tahiti, so we had to get it from Madagascar. So now every time Brad and I are fucking around, we say, well, hey, is it, which vanilla is it? Is it vanilla extract or?
Tahitian, Madagascar?
Yeah.
And then Rev comes in here. No.
Neither, good sir.
What is it? What do we got?
Papua New Guinea.
I don't even know. This throws off my whole vanilla.
I know.
I thought I had like my futures. I had the stock options going on the.
We figured we had this understanding this vanilla thing, and we do not.
Yeah.
So, but I like it a lot. But I also like Blackberry Finn.
I'm digging Blackberry Finn, but I don't know, for some reason I've been on this like fruit beer, fruited sour like kick lately. I don't know. I've been like wanting like that sweetness or the juiciness in a lot of the beers I've been having.
Yeah, and then you find some, and then you find the one that's good, and you just keep searching for. They're all not good. So I guess you're on a
They're
roll
all
where
not good?
the fruit
They're all
fruit
good?
in beer.
They're all not. Okay, not all of them are good. Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
They're all not good. They all suck.
No.
It's fruit beers.
Not every single beer with fruit added is a good thing.
Sure.
So you're finding something that you like and you're just riding that fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying. I'm not even finding the ones I like. I'm just going. I'm not even going back.
Blackberry Finn is I was asking Brad what is Blackberry Finn, and he's like, "Oh, Huckleberry Finn," and I forget that Huckleberry is an actual berry, but so Blackberry Finn's a play on that. But then it's basically a barley wine with blackberries added, but it's double barreled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. Is Huckleberry? Is that a blackberry and blueberry mix, or is that one of them is like a combo of a blackberry and a blueberry? That's not. Is that a boysenberry?
Blackberries look just like they kind of look like raspberries,
Right.
but the skin's different. You know, raspberries are kind of fuzzy
I
and
don't
soft.
necessarily know what a huckleberry looks like.
Me either.
I think it might be a cross between
Yeah.
two berries.
I was telling Brad, we went to some goose thing for like 3 days, and they every day there was a dish with huckleberry in it, and I think they were native to wherever we were. We were in like Idaho or some shit.
Okay.
But I think they're just kind of harder to gather,
Huckleberries?
I think so.
Over
like blackberries.
berries?
Yeah.
God, you don't really see like.
Like how many
You
times
can't go to the grocery store and be like, "Let me get a bushel of huckleberries."
the huckleberries aren't hanging out next to the strawberries, right? Because I think it's like more of a you got to climb some shit, or you got to drive up a hill or some shit like that.
I don't know now. I don't know anything about huckleberries.
As long as we understand what plums are, because we had a plum phase where we didn't know what the fuck a plum was.
You, I
bullshit.
understood the plum.
No, I asked 4 different people. They gave me 4 different answers. So I don't want to hear this shit like everyone knows. No one knows what a fucking plum is. Everyone will tell you something different. So that's not true. But the Blackberry Finn, what they talked about, how Rev does this thing. They take 2 different brews and blend them together to hit a certain sugar level in the beers, a sweet one and a dry one. Oh, and so this one was double barreled. So the fruit is added once it's moved to the second barrel. So, we just had a call with Rev, and we're asking them, like, hey, explain the second barrel. Because, when we had the goose beers, the second barrel was a different type of barrel.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, well, there's both of these, the first and second barrel, are both bourbon barrels. Because when you add fruit, the ABV drops. So to keep the ABV high, the second barrel is not a neutral barrel or not a different type of barrel. It's another bourbon barrel to bring the ABV back up.
So it's just a barrel straight jacket.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's a double barrel straight jacket
With fruit.
with fruit.
Yeah. Okay.
But it tastes totally different than doing that. So they named it something different.
Yeah. Okay.
So
And then straight jacket's straight jacket. What barrels did they use? Did they say?
I think he said Eagle Rare for straight jacket and Blackberry Finn.
Okay.
There was another thing about straight Blackberry Finn where they didn't dump it into they didn't dump fruit into the second barrel. He used some kind of pectin. What did he say? Pectin added clarity to the beer, because if you just added fruit to a barrel and pulled it out, then it was kind of murky.
Yeah.
So they used something called, now we got to go back to the
The recording?
but there was something that clarified it. So the process was a little different
Okay.
than just adding fruit to a barrel.
But so the release is the 19th. The preview party is the 18th. So what did they mention? Some of the variants?
Yeah, they did mention the variants. But there was like a 10-minute conversation about the variants.
There's some sort of vanilla, super vanilla.
Maybe we could find it on their Twitters, man. or something.
So you'll be able to go there and pick up some of those on the 19th. And it sounded like, Nick, last time you went the day after, and a bunch of them were still there.
I think they deserve a lot of credit for that, because everyone's picking up their beers on the Friday. But then if you go back on the Saturday, those beers are always still there.
Yeah, get there in the morning, just hit something up.
And
Cool.
the crowd is way smaller. This is all at Rev Kedzie.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that at all. I mean, because if I'm not picking these beers up for purchase necessarily, but I do want to try the variants. So you can slide in on a Saturday. Well, we can't do it this Saturday because it's FOBAB.
Right, that's why it's not this Saturday. It's next Saturday.
Oh.
This is only like the 11th.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's like a week. That's what I'm saying. It's a week away. It's next Friday.
Yeah, they're all gonna be at FOBAB probably.
Right. So maybe that's why they didn't want to release it for FOBAB time. But yeah. And then on the side, we got a little Moon Man as a little water chaser.
I think this is Moon Man, our guy Jared Jankowski, who used to be brewmaster at Goose. Before that,
That's right.
he worked at New Glarus, and Moon Man is his recipe named after his cat.
Right. He did it on his stove in his kitchen.
Yeah.
He developed the Moon Man recipe.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite interviews. You know, the Jared Jankowski Goose Black Friday interview from maybe 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
That was good. Oh, but Moon Man, I think this is my favorite New Glarus beer, hands down.
Yeah. And it's so close to Zombie Dust. It has a similar vibe to it. But I kind of dig it more than Zombie Dust these days.
Yeah, where Zombie Dust is kind of changing. The first year Zombie Dust came out all those years ago, it was a no frills
Chef
Citra Pale Ale. Fantastic stuff. Yeah. And the Undead Pale Ale. But then they kept tweaking and changing and all this bullshit. And, you know, you get it at the game. You get it at a ball game. It's not the same.
No, I think Moon Man has Amarillo in it, right? If I remember that correctly. Maybe that's why I love it so much.
I'm a purist, man. I only drink Amarillo in my pale ales, man. Yeah, it's delicious, whatever they're doing. I like this one.
Yeah, because I went up there actually yesterday from recording this across state lines.
That's funny.
Snuck across there.
Across the cheddar curtain.
Yeah, got a few 6-packs. I got Moon Man, Fat Squirrel, and this Doppelbock. Goat.
It's got something about a goat, probably.
But we went to just a liquor store because the brewery's not open yet.
Woodman's?
No, we could have went to Woodman's. The selection is good at Woodman's. We were up in Lake Geneva. We went way up there.
Right.
I don't necessarily know why, but we went all the way up there.
Just like road trip. We're out of here.
So yeah, we went up there and grabbed those, and then my uncle he loaded up his car. And my aunt loved the fruited sour or the sour beer, so they got all those, the raspberry and the peach and all of them.
They're good beers. They're even more gooder because you can't get them here.
Right.
You know, that definitely adds to the appeal. You come back with some fancy cheese?
No.
I do that. I try to come back with some kind of cheese.
Yeah.
But New Glarus.
I had some cheese there, but it's cheese.
It's just cheese. What's Fat Squirrel?
It's a nut brown.
Okay.
I was like, it's nut brown season, right? This fall.
Nice.
Like, all over that. I wish they had some sort of Christmas beer, but they don't do Glarus holiday one.
I hope they get that thing straightened out where they're being sued by the original owners of the joint.
Oh, that's right.
There's a really long story, the court documents have been released, and it's just a bunch of mudslinging between the original investors and the guys who own it and the lawyers, and it's actually very entertaining. I was up flipping through 20 pages of law documents one night.
Damn.
And I'm like, this is some wild shit.
But not going to the brewery, you don't get those R&D beers. So that was the only the best part about going to the brewery is those R&D beers. Oh, and the brewery is kind of amazing.
I agree. Nobody around here is doing fruited sours quite like New Glarus in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top notch situation. Top notch, I say.
But I was way up there, and then we decided to do More in Huntley on the way back for late dinner, early lunch kind of thing.
You were up there on Auto Mall Drive.
Yeah, we drove past. I saw Soda Hops.
So hot.
I was like, oh, this is where it is. This is far.
Fucking out yonder, man.
Yeah,
out yonder.
That More Brewery in Huntley, it is giant and it is nice looking.
Good looking space.
Yeah.
Good looking space. They did a good job.
But they had, and then they had all the hennas on.
Oh shit! Cause it's FOBAB week.
Yeah. So
Nice.
They were releasing a new henna every day. The waitress said.
Okay.
My aunt loaded them up. My mom loaded them up. I went with the lager. So I tried theirs.
I'll take the More lager, please.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I did get the Sun City. I think I got a picture posted. I think it's just their IPA, or it might be their pale ale.
You didn't even get a little pony side, little 3-ounce joint of the henna stuff.
I tried.
Okay.
I tried some of theirs.
Okay.
I didn't need a I was driving. I didn't eat the whole thing.
That's true. You know, sometimes you don't want a heavy ass beer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want something easy.
I get it.
Yeah.
I know what they taste like.
Yeah.
They're gonna taste like these or the Goose Island beers, or
Yeah.
they had a churro one.
It's gonna taste like it's been in a barrel, and then you add something to it after it came out the barrel.
Yeah, they had a churro one. They had like an almond one. Nice little lineup going on. They had a Goes that was really nice.
I would have tried that.
Yeah, and then I got their cream ale was more like a sour cream ale. I had that. That was really good.
So weird.
Yeah, I went to More and got the
And got the lager and the fucking sour cream ale.
You know who's gonna be mad at that is Hardcore Craft Beer.
He's right there. You know, the only time I've been there, Chris Jacobson's like fucking 8 minutes away from this joint.
Yeah, I think he commented on the Instagram, like, killing me. He's probably like right there, right? Crystal Lake's right there, so you got, what's that other spot? Crystal Lake Brewing.
They say they drink a lot up there in Crystal Lake. Yeah. That's it. That's the end of my Crystal Lake
But now
statement.
I know where this More is, and it's like not that far from where my dad lives because he's in Lake in the Hills, and that's like
Okay.
right there. So knowing that now, it's like, oh, I could always stop in there.
It's a good hang of shit to do once you get up there. You just gotta get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta have like a reason to go and then be motivated to go.
Yeah, I didn't really have a reason to go, but we went.
You're just like, we're
It
leaving.
was like, we're doing something today.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is what it is. We're leaving. I definitely know that feeling.
That was quite an adventure for me yesterday and this week.
I saw the More reel, and I'm like, nah, Brad must be in Villa Park. But then I hit the Geo shit, and I'm like, nah, this dude fucking, this dude fucking went to Huntley. I just knew it was Villa Park. That was funny. So
Yeah, I don't know. It was a nice space. Food
hit
was
some
good
of this
too.
Blackberry Finn, see what that's doing.
Lots of beer to go. So if you head up there, I actually surprisingly I didn't buy any beer to go because I think we just bought a bunch of New Glarus beer. I was like, I like more stuff, but I don't need more.
That's true. And then there's a beer bar up there called Consume. It's a beer liquor store there, and it's a restaurant. And they focus on like all the local, you know, the local suburban scene.
Okay.
If you just want to like make a trip of it, like Brad was saying, like there's the other shit to do up there. You know, it could be a destination.
Yeah. But tempted, I guess, if I go up there again. It's Sode Hop and there's another one, Hullager or Hullag.
Is it a lager joint?
I don't know. If it starts with an H, I forget what the name was.
Not Kinslager, because that's in Oak
Nope.
Park. This other joint, they focus on lagers, and it's in the burbs.
I don't know if it's focused on lager. I feel like it had lager in the name. Like,
Only one I'm thinking.
how it looks.
You got me. Crystal Lake, I've heard of, and More. I can't think of another one.
But it's right down the street from Sode Hop.
Okay.
So you got like 3 right there on the same road if you want to do them all. Yeah. So that was my little outing. You went back to Blackberry?
Yeah. What is Death by Raz? Was it? It was Death by Raspberries.
Yeah. And Death by Courant.
Courant I like. It's a little too sweet. It's the only one that I thought was a little too sweet. These other ones I think are just hitting complexity marks very nicely. Like a little sweet, a little tart, a little oak.
And here's your barley wines because Goose didn't do it. So you got them right here.
I mean, you said it all when you said it, Brad.
So what about you? I crossed state lines and went down the farthest I could go on 90.
Yes.
What about you? Where'd you venture?
I went 35 miles in the opposite direction, southeast, to border town, Munster, Indiana.
You crossed the other state line.
Yeah.
Man.
Here we are, Chicago Beer Pass, and everybody's leaving fucking town.
Yeah. Well, we complain about this stuff being so far, and then we go and do stupid things like that.
I mean, like a clean hour, 15 minutes to get to this joint.
Yeah.
And this is like during the day, you know. Dark Lord Day is here. You know, I realized something. This is the first time because it's FOBAB week when we're recording this. So Benthic is this week. Rev's dropping beer. No, we tried the Rev beers this week. FOBAB's this week. Dark Lord's this week. Barrel Aged Cup this week.
And Hannah.
And Hannah this week. So just a very active scene.
Yeah.
You know, so Went down for a Dark Lord Day, man. You know, Dark Lord 2021.
On a Thursday. Dark Lord Day on a Thursday.
In November. That never happens. That anniversary party that one time, remember it was FOBAB, everybody went to FOBAB, and a lot of people went down to Munster after that. Or
Only you did.
Some people chose, you had to pick one. A lot of people said which one you're going to. But I for sure saw people at both.
I think you did both.
I was a train wreck. I dropped 2 bottles. That's the only time I ever dropped bottles.
Wasn't that the same day you started at More?
No, this was like way back. We're talking
Way back.
like...
Because it was the other time you went to More first and then went to FOBAB.
That was a bad idea too. No, it was the one in the park out west, Garfield. It was Bug, opening day.
Oh, that you went to More. And
It was Dark Lord Day, Henna,
oh,
and...
You were not good that day.
Dude, it was so bad. And I took like a 2-hour nap that day. And I went to Bug like a zombie. It was the worst. It was the worst day. That was the worst day.
I'm sure there's a video and a podcast of us talking about that. I'm sure.
What was wrong with me? So yeah, Dark Lord Day in November, man. Super weird, super fucking cold, rainy. Not the best idea.
You can't get out of your car, right? You know,
No, you roll your window down and they put it in the back. It's a drive-through. It's not even Dark Lord Day.
so not really drinking.
Yeah, and then if you want, because they were offering like, maybe 10 different beers you can buy, like some clean beers. But then that's at the brewery. So there's a gravel lot next to the distillery. You know how you go down that little road into the industrial park. There's a gravel lot next to the distillery. That's where you pick up your Dark Lord. Then next door to that is the distillery. Next to that is the brew pub. So you got these 2 lines you got to get into if you want to take advantage of all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, checking out was actually pretty quick. I was kind of surprised by that. Some guy in a Tesla was really mad at me because I cut him off. I went around the park to get into a shorter line, and he got out of his car and yelled at me. That was funny. But you know what? At the to-go tent, you could get last year's Dark Lord still, plus a mystery variant for $80, or you could get one single bottle of the 2021 or last year's Dark Lord.
Okay.
So they were just anybody. You didn't need to buy the.
People just roll out.
You could just roll up and buy a single bottle of the stuff if you wanted to, even if you didn't have a ticket.
Okay.
So that was cool.
So what'd you get?
There were 2 variants. One was adult-sized beverage. That's a new variant, and that's a tribute to the former VP that passed away last year, Barnaby.
Oh, okay.
So it's a image of him on the bottle, and it's like aged in 3 different barrels, like rum and some kind of dessert wine barrel.
Okay.
And then I got Marshmallow Hangy, which is bourbon barrel-aged vanilla bean Dark Lord.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's the one.
Madagascar, or?
Yeah, are we talking Papua New Guinea here, 3 Floyds, or Madagascar, Tahitian, or what? So I think that's the one we should drink.
Okay. Did you pop up for any of the other? Did you buy anything else when you were there?
Yeah, I actually bought. This list was crazy. Like of the 8 beers, I think. Well, there were 10. Of the 10 beers, 8 of them were either coffee or some sort of sour. So there's like a blueberry sour. There's one with peach.
But not Dark Lords.
No, just regular sour beers. There's a Flemish red. There's a brown ale, sour brown ale, finished in oak barrels.
Yeah, gross.
There's a what was another one? There was like, so I'm like, well, which one do I get?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and then they had a mixer. You could get 5 of them for
so you
$25.
get the mixer?
So I got 1 of each. Yeah.
Man. Sour beers from Floyds.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had my worries, but I had one of these. Molten Mirrors is the peach. It's like a peach sour saison. I've had that one before and I liked it.
Okay.
Kind of like at a Sun King Fest in Indianapolis. I had it.
Did you like it or was it different?
No,
So you
I thought it was good.
enjoyed
I
it.
thought it was good.
Okay,
I thought it was good. The cherry one I thought was weird and different, but I didn't really like it.
Okay.
I did like the Molten Mirrors though, so I got that one. I was curious about the coffee beers, and they had like barrel aged Blood Out the Sun and shit like that.
Okay.
But I'm like, listen, this fucking package was $160,
Yeah.
so I'm not going down here and blowing my wad. I'm get 1 extra thing and I'm leaving.
Yeah, okay.
My other part of my trip was Dark Lord and Munster Donuts. That's kind of a pregame. Every time I go, whatever Dark Lord I got, I open that up and drink that and have the donuts.
Oh, nice.
It's part of a ritual kind of.
Yeah.
So I did that. That was cool.
How was Dark Lord tasting?
That is not my favorite beer. That is not my favorite beer. And we talk about it on the show all the time. I think the variants are so good, it questions, is this even the same thing as the base beer? You question that.
So why?
Yeah.
Man, we talk about this. A lot of people in craft beer talk about this, and it's not good. Like, it's not that enjoyable. You feel like you're supposed to try it, almost like Bourbon County Stout. Like, but that's good, but you just feel like, I have to just try this years. So why is that feedback? That feedback has to be getting back to them that, like, no one likes this. Like, what are you guys doing? And they're just like, well, it keeps selling, so why
So
change
we don't
this?
care. You know, let me slow down. Let me use my words.
Yeah.
Last time we all hung out, it was me, you, and Chris Jacobson, and and Dark Lord came up, and he was like, you know, you give it 5 years and it starts tasting good, and that's something I've heard before, and this is not something I subscribe to. I think I think it thins out and it tastes a little different, and it's definitely less. It's definitely more drinkable after 5 years, but it's never a beer I understood. We talked about, it was cold as hell outside when I'm drinking this beer and eating these donuts.
Sure.
And I thought about a conversation you and I were having about Big Hugs versus Dark Lord and how they're both coffee beers, but they don't necessarily taste like coffee. Coffee's just an ingredient to change the stout flavor. And I'm like, I might have to give the edge to Big Hugs over this fucking Dark Lord.
Yeah, and like Big Hugs doesn't even sell out now because, I don't know, maybe oversaturation from Half Acre, but it's almost always around now. But
Yeah, I think
Dark Lord's not sitting on the shelf somewhere.
that's true. The only day of the year you can get Dark Lord is Dark Lord Day.
And I don't think it goes out to distribution
It
where
does not.
like Darkness goes out to distribution.
Yeah.
And that's a better version of Dark Lord.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know.
If you're having an honest conversation about that base beer compared to other local options or the Midwest options, then you have to really be honest and say, hey, where does this rank in the top, in your top 10 local stouts, in your top 10 regional stouts? Where does this rank? Annual releases, big stouts.
They got to go if where COVID is next year or whatever the like restriction or whatever they're feeling as the brewery, they got to go big as hell. Otherwise, people are going to be like, I don't know, 2 years without you, we're done.
I didn't understand how much I missed the party until I went to this. I was like, this is cool. But it only reminds me of, I can tell stories about how good the parties were.
Right.
But without the party, it's, you know, it's a huge part of the trip is this fucking party. And it's, you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. You know, when I went, I was reminded of why I didn't do this last year.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I was like, but I am going to enjoy that Hanji. I want to drink that Hanji right now. I don't want to fuck around. I want to taste it, especially on the heels of this Vanilla Deeth. I want to get into it and just see if it's as good as I remember it being.
Damn,
So,
okay.
yeah, so we should do that coming up here.
All
So,
right. Sounds good. Anything else?
No, I think that's all I did, man.
I did make a trip out to Two Brothers. I
Right
forgot
on.
about that.
Dos Bros. Now there's Warrenville.
Roundhouse. Went
The
to
Roundhouse.
Roundhouse,
Okay.
yeah.
Roundhouse. All right. That's Aurora.
Yeah.
Right.
It was busy. I think I just got one of the IPAs. So
No coffee liqueur.
no coffee. I didn't.
Make
know
a
they
good
had
coffee. Make
Did
good
you?
coffee. Pretty good. Pretty.
Pretty. Yeah. Just kind of stopped in there for dinner one night when we were out in the burbs. So
Yeah.
I did see the noon. We were gonna go to Noon Whistle, the new Noon Whistle that opened.
Like Lamont.
No, it's in Naperville. It is like not that far from Solomoth.
Really?
Yeah, so you could now go to Solomoth and Noon Whistle. You could walk. It's gonna be a little bit of a hike, but
This is a Brad walk we're talking. Brad biked to Three Floyds one time. So
I biked tight head. There's no one's biked that.
his walking is a little different than the
They're
average
close
walk.
enough that you could feel like you could go to both of them in like just a stop. So it's like right there. It's like in the same like industrial complex. I'm not gonna say park because park's small. I don't know, like a complex.
Okay.
It's bigger.
Okay.
And it looked nice. It was big, but they don't have food. So Salamote doesn't have food. The cider place doesn't have food. Noon Whistle doesn't have food.
Well, so
Someone opened up a place with food in between these things, even if it's just a pizza place.
you could just keep the brewery hop going. instead
Sure,
of
there's like a
going-
Taco Bell down the street, but like, give me something like better than any of this that you can deliver. Just have a ghost kitchen that just delivers to these places.
Yeah, it's just delivered to the breweries.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but it looked nice.
Where is this again?
It's in Naperville.
Okay.
But
it's in Naperville.
It's
Like, I don't.
off of 59, and is that not? That's not Ferry Road. That's I forget what the other road is on.
Yeah,
but
and I don't get into the specifics of like where in Naperville. I was just wondering what town.
yeah, over by like Fox Valley Mall.
Okay.
Thing back there, but it's not far from Salamoth. So if you've been to Salamoth, it's like right there.
I forget Solomon's in Naperville. Man, they got a lot going on out there.
Yeah,
Once you're in Naperville, you don't really have to leave.
I guess. Yeah.
It's like an actual city.
It's nice. It's one of the better of the better ones.
It's a suburb that feels most like a city.
Yeah.
Not quite Oak Park or Evanston per se, but it's definitely, you ain't got to leave. If you're there, you can just do all the things there.
Right. So I would more likely now go to that Noon Whistle than the Lombard one. Not that Lombard one's bad. It's just there's literally nothing else in that Lombard area.
Yeah, the idea of doing all this other shit is way more attractive.
Yeah.
You know.
But they kind of they hurt me with those Chmielewski and the Cubs one. So
That was
I haven't ventured back to Noon Whistle.
that was a dud. Those.
Both of them.
Yeah, they were duds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tricked me with the packaging.
I forgot. I forgot how upset I was with the fucking Noon Whistle over that shit. Because they're not.
Gummy series.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The other gummies were
'Cause
good.
Gumski.
I was gonna, yeah.
The
So I
gummy
was,
bear.
yeah. One was Gaminsky and the other one was
Gummy
yeah.
bear, yeah. Those were bad gummies.
Yeah, which was fucked up because the other ones up to that point were good.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't been to Noon Whistle since
Go back
that
to the
debacle, like probably like a year and a half ago now.
I love how the word debacle really kind of captures how frustrated you are. This is a debacle.
Almost like that's why I like Lombard. It's like, I got those beers there. I cannot go back there. Maybe this other one will treat me right.
Oh, man.
I don't know, so yeah. Suburban adventures this week.
I mean, yeah, this is a suburban episode, but that's good, though.
Yeah, but we're talking about Rev too. So.
And we got Rev to kind of tie the whole Chicago thing in. Man, did you see that fucking Bell's sold?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Bell's sold to Kieran, which Kieran apparently bought New Belgium a few years ago.
Oh, that's right.
So Kieran is like a Japanese company that owns New Belgium. They appear to be hands off, letting New Belgium do their thing. So New Belgium is going to now run Bell's, and Larry Bell is retiring.
I thought the daughter was gonna take over.
This is the exact same thing I said. Laura Bell, who, she signed my book at Great Taste a few years ago. She was CEO for a minute, for like maybe 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's not something she wanted to do. She wanted to pursue other things. Larry Bell's like, well, I don't want to run it.
She wants to run a cider company.
She's like, I want to buy Virtue Cider, Dad. Dad's like, fuck you, that's not beer. So Laura Bell don't want to take it over. So Larry Bell's like, well, fuck it, we're selling. So he sold to Kieran. So that's a Japanese. So they are the oldest, largest brewery in Michigan. And I want to say they were class of '88, man.
Right. So who's left that hasn't? Deschutes hasn't sold out.
I don't think Deschutes has sold, but shit, if you look at New Belgium, Goose, even
there's another.
there's a percentage of Brooklyn Brewery that got sold.
Right. Yeah.
Now Bell's, who else? Class of '88. There's one more that we're missing. That's a really big one, but. Yeah, Great Lakes. Great Lakes is class of '88.
I don't know. We're coming up on what's that? That's like a little over 20 years, but yeah, we're coming up on 30 years. No, we passed 30 years, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, 2020.
98.
2001 was 20 years
30.
ago.
It was 30.
Shit.
So
Is
yeah.
that right?
So we're coming. Yeah. So yeah.
20. Yeah,
Yeah.
because 90 was 30.
98 was 10.
Yep.
2008 was 20. 2018 was 30. This is,
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
I mean, well, when John Hall sold Goose, what, I don't know, 5 years ago now.
No, that was like 10 years. It was,
Was
like it was like
Oh,
it was
God.
over a decade. No, it was longer than that. I think it was like 15 years ago now.
No, I'm going to go with 10. 10 sounds good. But when he sold,
Maeve and I were not married, or maybe they sold the year before we got married. Okay.
the point is he was pushing
About
70
10
is what I was meant
10,
to
11 years ago now.
Yeah, I would say that. So that's
Okay.
fair. Yeah. I mean, these guys who were, the regional giants that we know, in no matter what region in the country, they started their breweries. These guys are all in their 70s now. You know what I mean? So
John Hall's like 150. He's old.
So it's like, well, how long are you going to run this thing? You start this brewery in your 30s, 30 years goes by, it's like, well, shit, I want to pass it to my kid. If she don't want to do it, well, fuck it, I'm going to cash out.
She's like, I don't give a shit. And your son's like, I like cider. You're like, fuck, I'm out.
Yeah. So I forget, you would always bring Bell's on the show. You'd bring like the Amber or Oberon or.
I saw cans of Nostradamus.
That was Great Lakes.
Oh, that's great.
But, similar vibe, with the old school brown bottles with
Right.
the, old school neck label.
And that year, for like a year, I raved about the Oberon at FOBAB.
Yeah, Brad would be like, listen, you got to try this Oberon with the fucking berries in it. It's the best beer here. You're not going to try it. I'm like, well, that's pretty good. He's not lying. It is good. But, I forget two things about Bell's, right? Like, I didn't understand how much of a monster Oberon was for them. They say it's one of the 5 biggest beers in chain stores.
It's 312.
Yeah, it's basically 312 of Michigan. Bell's is like a top 10 brewery in the country for volume. But then I've only remembered them for Hop Slam. But then I've always thought to myself, from the days when I used to hang out before bomb camp. I was hang out for like an hour in the park because I worked right downtown. And I would always have a Bell's Two Hearted because that was what they sold in the train station.
Okay.
A Bell's Two Hearted and something from Two Brothers. I mean, from Half Acre. And I just always remember, man, how much if I was picking one beer, if I was at a party and we could only have one beer at the party, I always said that beer would be Bell's Two Hearted.
Yeah, Bell's Two Hearted and probably Daisy Cutter are like just top tier beers that like you could just have like all right, that's it. It's almost like the Miller or the Bud Light of like, I don't know, there's just, he always has Two Hearted kind of thing.
It's kind of a perfect. These are perfect beers we're talking
Yeah.
about. Two Hearted, fucking Daisy Cutter.
Classic, great beers that you're just like, all right, I'm going all in on this.
And I'm reminded of something that I read. It was one of these stupid Goose books where Greg Hall talks about, man, Bell's Brown Ale doesn't really get the credit it deserves because the success of Bell's Brown Ale is what kind of drove them to want to make better beers because they were really into Bell's Brown Ale, and it was like, they kind of looked to that as inspiration. Like, man, this beer's so good, I want to get to a point where I can have some shit as good as this.
That beer is good, but it's boring. Like,
It's brown
good.
ale.
It's good.
It's Brown Ale.
That's why I got the Fat Squirrel. I was like, it's boring,
That's
but
why
I think it's good.
That's why I got the Wisconsin Brown Ale.
I think
okay?
it's gonna be good. Yeah.
Fat Squirrel's a fun name.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bell's never really changed their labels. Never really had to.
So how do you feel about the Curin thing? Do you think that's a better play than if what's the Leinenkugel's people?
Oh, Miller. They sold to Miller, right?
I thought they sold to the Mexican.
No, you're thinking of San Mal. That's what Founders did. Founders sold to the Spanish. It was a Spanish brewery.
Oh, what's the Heineken one?
Lagunitas sold to Heineken.
Yeah. Okay.
So Founders sold to the Spanish. New Belgium and Bell sold to the Japanese. Heineken bought Lagunitas. And then, Goose is owned mostly by like some fuckers in Brazil now, right?
Right, but Heineken's part of that Mexican company, right?
Heineken?
Yeah, right. Isn't that the? Why am I blanking on this?
I just know
Modelo and Corona.
That shit gets confusing for me because the people who own the rights to Modelo and Corona in America don't own those rights overseas. So it's like, you know, over right here in America, it's Constellation brands.
Yeah, Constellation brands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's that's Lagunitas.
That's Ballast Point.
There's no Ballast Point. That's
Ballast.
Kings and Convict.
Oh, right. But Ballast Point sold to Constellation brands.
Right.
Lagunitas sold to Heineken.
Oh, why do I think they sold the Constellation brands?
I mean, because it's all kind of, you know, these are all multinational companies. The shit gets confusing.
Man, you're drinking when you're talking about all these. Like,
I tried to take some screenshots of the. I found myself reading Kaiser stuff a lot if I want to know about like national shit because there's no paywall.
right.
You know, so I took some screenshots and I want to see if any of them make sense.
So where does, I guess the initial question was, where does the Kirin one rank in the, I want to say like credibility or, I don't know, you don't want to drink, people hated on Goose for selling to AB for so long. I think it's kind of like, it's sort of a whatever thing, but then at the same time people are like, well, I'll rather support this other brewery over AB sometimes, but it's less, I don't know, the fanboy or the hatred to AB has fallen just a little bit. So does Kirin rate higher in that? Or are you like?
Yeah, that's a fair question. So for Kirin, they refer to it as Kirin/Little Lion. So Little Lion is a brewery that's owned by Kirin, but it sounds like Little Lion is like kind of acts as a holding company for these other breweries that they buy.
Okay.
So instead of saying Kirin bought it, it's really Little Lion's making the purchase because Little Lion is the brewery holding.
But that's like Goose buying Virtue.
It's exactly like that. Kirin, at the end of the day, Kirin owns all this shit.
Yeah.
But then who owns Kirin? You know, maybe that's it. Maybe because it's overseas and there's less transparency, do we care as much? Maybe that's it.
Yeah, well, Kirin. I don't know, Kirin, that's a big fucking company, and it's... Kirin Lager, or Kirin beer is not that bad. I had one the other week getting ramen, so it's fine. I don't know.
Yeah, so this ends 36 years of family leadership for Bell's.
Damn, how much do they sell for?
It doesn't say.
What?
Undisclosed.
I want to know the money.
San
I feel like
Miguel.
that's how they can get around, because I don't think we knew how much Goose Island bought Virtue for. By having your like holding company buy it, you don't have to say how much you bought it for. So either they probably got a deal, or they like cut a deal with Larry Bell, like on a, like, we're gonna give you like a huge kickback to sell this to us.
Look at this stat. There's a ton of stats in this article, but in the 52-week period ending on October 9th, Bell's Two Hearted was the 15th largest craft brand at grocery, drug, and liquor stores and convenience stores tracked by Nielsen. So during 52 weeks, they sold $61 million in fucking Two Hearted.
Do they still get to be, because it's the Little Lion, do they still get to be a craft brand?
It's a good question. If you look at the guild, not the guild, but the Brewers Association, all these crews that we're naming, the biggest breweries in Chicago, Lagunitas and Goose, are exempt from that list. You know, I don't know if New Belgium's on that list. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't know. And I've actually reached out to them about that because I'm like, it's cool that you don't consider them craft, but you have to break out, instead of putting Lagunitas numbers under Heineken and just saying Heineken ranks here overall and AB ranks here overall. In Chicago, you got to tell us how much Goose is making and how much Lagunitas is making, because we're owned by other people.
There's now like a middle tier.
Yeah. So, yeah, end of an era for early 90s, 80s beer in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, the other brewery, no, it wasn't. Why did I think Surly? It was the 88. No, they were way later. All right.
So, but good for him, man. He fucking cashed out and retired. There you go.
Yeah, but he was already retired. He was just like, his daughter was like, nah. He's like, I'm not coming back.
That's wild as hell, right? Like, why would you not? I don't know. I'd like to know more about that. That's the most interesting piece to me.
She's like, I like seltzer. We're doing seltzer. He's like, yeah, no.
The fuck
That's
we
it.
are.
I'm cutting you out. You're cut.
He's like, can you believe this fucking girl told me she wants to stop making Expedition Stout and have 17 seltzers on the menu?
Oh, damn. All right. Interesting. I don't know how I feel. I feel indifferent about that because I don't drink Bell's
I think
enough to like care at all.
I'm not emotional about it. I'm more happy for a guy who spent 40 years building that thing the way he did to get out. And I respect Hop Slam as an annual release, and I respect Too Hard. I respect the fuck out of those beers. Yeah. And those were two beers when I first got into beer that I really kind of shaped me like what I liked.
I would request that, Kieran, can you sell this Hop Slam in single cans because buying a 4-pack sucks. No, it's in 6-packs. It sucks. I don't want 6 Hop Slams. I just want to try it. It's like Dark Lord. I want all these beers. I want one. I want to try it. Cool.
19.2 ounce. Brad votes for the 19.2 Hop Slam.
Yeah, just give me a big Hop Slam rather than 6 of them that are going to sit in the back of the fridge, and then I take to someone's house, be like, oh, here you go, and now that sits in their fridge.
Yeah, or you got to do like have a rager and go three days in a row of Hop Slam.
Some person who doesn't know is like, oh, hop, I will have this. I'm like, you're in for a good night.
10% with honey, pal. Good luck with that.
All right, let's get out of here. I'm out of mood, man. Knocking these back. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Nick, where can people find you? Get in touch when we're not here.
Hey man, I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD, Chicago Beer Pass, Twitter, Instagram. We got the reels going up all the time. And we'll be back soon with another episode. Take care.
Cheers.